Good morning, boys and girls. It is Monday morning, ready to get another new week going here. So we had a great weekend, got a lot of great things going. I'm still experimenting for the LTS, but I think it's going to work out. It's going to be really cool, this process I'm going to do on the LTS, which is coming up on Saturday, by the way, Saturday the 25th. So don't miss that one, but we'll have it on YouTube afterwards, just like always. All right, let's get into the questions. I got two really good questions here. Actually, the first one is something that I see a lot lately, especially for new people that may not have watched a lot of the videos and don't realize what's going on. So what I'm hearing a lot of is loading up on the sanding belts when you're sanding off your black. So first things first, for all of you new people that don't know, these are the only two kinds of black that I use. I use either the Marsh ink or I use the Rust-Oleum primer. Now make sure on this primer it's just the primer, not the primer paint. And you can go back and watch video number 130 and I show these on there as well. But those are the only two blacks that I use. If you use paint, then one of the issues with paint is it clogs up the belts. So that's the first possible issue if you're having issue with belts loading up. Second possible issue is the fact that you may be using the wrong grit. I use two different grits currently. This is a 40 grit. This is my rough sand. So this will be my first sand, and I take almost, I'd say 90 to 95% of the black off with this first. Then I use my, this is actually a 175 grit. That's what it says on the inside. I think it's foreign made, I'm not sure, but I use either 80 or 120, something like that for a fine sand. And then you can move on from there, but from the time this is done, all the black is gone off of the surface of the board. So, you know, if you're using a random orbital sander, and this same process, by the way, if you're using the disc sanders, same difference. Use a rough grit first, and then go and take almost all of it off, and then go back and use a fine grit. Now, the other issue could be if you do start to load up, use one of these belt belt cleaners. I think of it as an eraser. So if you need to know, we get these at Harbor Freight, but you can get them online. Just type in belt cleaner, rubber belt cleaner in Google, and you'll find 1,000 different places to buy these. The other biggest issue, beyond all of these, the biggest issue is your overspraying, and that's what I find is by far the most common mistake that new people make is overspraying on their black. So those are some of the things that I'm seeing a lot of. I thought I would kind of address a lot of different reasons why you're getting loaded up belts. But these belts, this belt, I've been using this probably for 100 signs. But by the time I get here, almost all the black is gone. This belt is my first sand. This belt, you can see I just cleaned it, but with the cleaner. But I've probably done 50 signs with this belt, and I could probably do another 50. So you just shouldn't have, the other thing is possibly if you're not letting the black dry, but literally I let the black dry for 5-10 minutes and I'm good to go. So if it's dry to the touch, I start sanding. Anyway, so if you're having problems with your belts loading up, those could be some things that might help you in that respect. So I hope that helps. Second thing is, on this Marsh ink especially, you know, it comes in colors, and I always store it upside down, by the way. So I put the cap on it and store it upside down, especially if I know I'm not going to use it for a week or 2 or 3 or whatever. The other thing is, if you go back and you ever get one of these cans, and this might be applicable for any spray cans. I'm just trying to blow my glasses off the table. It might be the case in any kind of spray can that has this type of a nozzle on it. If you ever end up where nothing will spray out of there and you know the nozzle is brand new, then here's what I suggest. Go back and watch video number 163. But basically, the process that I use is I take this off, I get a good nozzle, like one off of a new spray can, and I use something sharp with gloves on, pointing away from a flame for sure, and I force this in there. But actually, go back and watch number 163, newsletter number 163, and I show how I do that. And I've saved a lot of these cans that I thought were just going to be junk. I was just going to be throwing them away. At $5 a piece, that adds up. So I figured when I started doing that, even if I ruined the can or it didn't work, I'm going to throw it away anyway. So and I think Marsh will take them back if you tell them you got a defective can. But actually, that nail process, 99 times out of 100, when I've had that problem, I'm able to clear it with a nail or something real sharp that I can get right down in there. Again, be very careful. No flames. Don't point it at your wife while you're doing it. Well, it depends. Well, anyway.
Now, if you want to live.
Yeah. So anyway, that's another issue that you might have with spray cans. So I guess that is about it. Let's go to the sign carvers of the day. Talking kind of fast this morning. Andy Earl. Gosh, this wind. Beautiful out here, but the wind is blowing. Andy Earl. Let's see if I can hold this thing still. It is cute, huh? He made it for a friend of his, sheriff friend. And he's doing some beautiful stuff. Great job, Sack. That's Andy's nickname, Sack. Okay, and this one is actually a couple days late. Jonathan Calder is his very first sign. Check this out. Unbelievable, guys. Made it for an Irish friend. We just got done with St. Patrick's Day. Check out that border. I just think it's amazing. Very first sign. Very impressive. And a lot of work. Great job. I think that border is really, really cool. That's a lot of work. Great job, Jonathan Calder. All right, you guys, that is it. So don't forget, the LTS is coming up on Saturday. Now, day after tomorrow, on Wednesday, I've got such a huge stack of sign carvers of the day, and I know you guys kind of like it. I am going to show a truckload of those things. So hopefully as many as we can get through in like 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20, 30, 40, I don't know. But keep sending those pictures to me for sign carvers of the day. Sorry if the sound is messed up. We don't know, but the wind is kind of blowing pretty good today. Anyway, so a huge sign carvers of the day on Wednesday, and then no video on Friday, but the LTS is on Saturday. So don't forget, you need to friend me on Facebook if you want to see the LTS live on Facebook Live. Send me a friend's request. It'll be in the description below. Huh?
At 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock Arizona time, 9 a.m. Arizona time. We'll be doing it live, but you can see it as a replay on Facebook and then also on YouTube later on in the weekend if everything goes right. So that is it. Thanks, guys. Hope you guys have a great week. We got lots of things going on, and I'm really excited about the LTS on Saturday if my experiments keep going the way they are. I'm doing a lot of work, but I think it'll be worth it. So anyway, guys, have a great week, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.